far?
It's going well. Easy so far.
Is it easy so far?
Yeah. A little nerve-wracking, but it's helpful.
Nerve-wracking. Well, anyways, so this movie, Sweet Life. Tell me where the original idea came from.
It's actually based on a script a very good friend of mine wrote, and we got together about 6 years ago, and we spent about 5 years reimagining it, completely deconstructing it, and put it back together. Same basic premise, same idea, same characters, but went ahead and built in a series of units of action that kind of solidified Act 2 specifically, and also Act 3. But spent a good deal of time over that 5-year period kind of retooling it so that it would pay off emotionally as well as address some of the comic values in it as well.
What was the story based off of originally on the original script?
Same base, same premise, right? Two strangers meet in Chicago. They're disillusioned, hopeless, agree to drive across to the Golden Gate Bridge and jump off together. So same premise, same skeletal structure, but we kind of refined their love story, so that by the time they get to the bridge, we know everything that's at stake. We know everything working for them, everything working against them. So you are with them in the moment each time, and that is where most of the work goes. So trying to arc both characters as well as arc their relationship with them, most of the refinement of it.
Now, 5 years is a pretty long time
Yes.
to restructure something. Why did it take so long?
I think it's a tricky structure because usually you have characters racing off to something that's good for them, something that they want. That's usually, from their perspective, a good thing, but here we're racing off to their death. And I think that was a tricky balance. How do you motivate that? How do you keep the audience engaged? How do you maintain the story of life that should be happening over the course of the film? I think that is what we found tricky to balance, and it took some time to get our hands around. And that's with working very intently for 2 years, taking 6 months off, coming back to it, and revisiting it. But over a 5-year period before we started shooting, and even as we went to the final, last 3-4 months, we're still finding scenes that need to be retooled in a way that would help us.
Now, tell me why the start, like Chicago would have been the perfect start for the story, and San Francisco for the end.
Well, first, the Chicago is where the screenwriter Jarrett lived for a long time, and it also gave us about the amount of time we thought it would take to kind of get across country, 4, 5, 6 days, was what we felt. There's some great architecture, great some great bridges over the Chicago River there that would be great worth photographing. And then the San Francisco, the Golden Gate Bridge is just iconic. It's a destination for people who are intent on suicide, and it carries with it a bunch of built-in meanings and subtext that we felt we could explore.
Talk about the cast, who you recruited, and why they were perfect for this film.
Chris Messina who plays Kenny, is perfect for it because he has a very solid grounding in emotional character. He's able to bring a strong underpinning of emotional commitment and understanding of what's really driving the character on a much deeper level. But in addition, he also knows how to play the comedy that creates the counterpoint for that. So we were willing to get on the journey with that. And if we have someone who just gets the underpinnings, the emotional stuff, it's harder to get the audience to get excited about taking this trip. So he has the balance of both, and that's the reason we selected Abigail Spencer as well. She has a perfect balance of how to do the dramatic stuff, how to do the comic stuff, how to balance it, and how to do which way. So it's that was really kind of the key ingredients in trying to cast the movie.
How long did this production shooting took place?
We shot for 16 days on 27 locations in 3 cities and 2 states. So a lot of ground to cover in a short amount of time. But that's what all of these low-budget indies are dealing with. Ours has the additional challenge of being a road movie, but every one of these movies has some built-in challenge that it all falls in the same time frame, and either locations are a challenge or the size of the cast is a challenge. But in any case, you try to find a way to, within those limitations, still find the story. And I always found that the more limitations you have, the more specific you become about what is my story about, why are we going to this location, do we really need it, can we cut it? So it forces you to think really minimally, and when you think minimally, you're really thinking about the story primarily.
So when you were shooting for this production, was it shot in order, like if you're at the same road trip as you're going from Chicago to San Francisco?
The way it broke down location-wise, we couldn't do that. Would have been nice. At one point, very early on in the process, a few years ago, we thought about, well, let's just get in a few vans and start the trip, come across country with a small film crew. But we felt it'd be better we would be able to get talent who were based here, who work out of LA, and we would be able to. There's certainly enough there are enough locations in the area within 15, 20 miles that can serve as any place in the country. So we thought it'd be best just to shoot here and then just kind of shoot out of continuity.
What were some of the great places besides Chicago and San Francisco that you specifically loved to put in the movie?
Well, there was first, not just San Francisco, being on the Golden Gate Bridge, right? It's alive. You feel its life. It feels like an organism. It's making noises. It talks. It's got this great. You feel like you're on this serpent. It's just kind of moving, subtly but moving. There were a number of places around town here that subbed for Utah. We found a great railroad trestle bridge that's subbed for right outside of Nebraska. It worked really well, and a lot of the Midwestern stuff we were able to find here. Chicago, we had to go to Chicago for because I knew we needed on a road trip especially, we needed a very specific, unique visual starting point. And I knew if we had the bridge, we'd have a visual ending point, and the rest we'd be able to massage here throughout California.
Awesome. Now, being an independent film like this, you face many different challenges. What do you suppose was the most difficult challenge and how you overcome it?
I think time is always a big one. And time, there are obvious financial limitations as well, but I think time is where you feel it the most. And the only way to take care of that is in preparation, right? Making sure that you're prepped, right? You understand your material, you know what you're going to shoot, you get there, and there are always going to be some obstacles or some improvisation that needs to be done. But you have enough prep so that you can get to the work, get to it quickly and get through it. So preparation, always, with the time limitations.
Well, pretty awesome. Well, let me start wrapping things up with you. Could you talk about any future projects after Sweet Life here?
I have a project that has similar elements to it. It's a contemporary love story. It starts in Texas. Two young girls, one who's in love with the other, believes she is, and just graduated high school. And it's a kind of a comic farce. They go off to chase her boyfriend who's left for LA to get a sex change operation. It's called Texas Tall Tale. It's very funny, very moving. A lot of the same basic elements that the Sweet Life has, but just a little bit edgier, I think, in some ways.
Terrific. And let me wrap it up with a fun last question with you. Tell me the best experience on a road trip for yourself.
Best? Oh, okay. We were stuck in Toronto in the middle of a snowstorm on this road trip, and found a bottle of Sherry, and we just had the time of our lives. 18 years old and not a care in the world, and just made our way through Toronto.
All right. Hey, that's a good story. Hey, thank you very much.
Sure.
Appreciate this conversation.
Thank you.
Thank you.